Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are working on the R1 drag car. So today is like February 10th, I think it is. So we are going to start by talking about a couple things. This is my car. I built at the end of last season. I built one a little heavier and I just didn't like it. Did not like it, did not like the way it drove, did not like the way it ran or anything else, so I went to my old school Nissan body, which is pretty light. This car barely is over the minimum weight. So we are running a Volta 3 level 3 motor in it, R1 ESC, R1 micro servo. This is their lightweight chassis that I went back to. Our Austin K's custom front piece here. Other than that, everything else is pretty much R1 on here. So pretty much the same. R-bar, what I prefer, which is a solid mount, still adjustable. Coolest thing R1 came out with last year is this thing here. Love it. I got aluminum transmission riser in here. Our custom shock tower, which I like because it stands them up just a little bit more. Other than that, the couple changes we're going to be making this year is I'll be sending off ESCs to Tom Rockwall to do the X-Cool treatment, which is they run a lot cooler, which is pretty cool to me. I don't know what they do, how they do it, but it's one of the things we're going to do. Motor, this is last year's motor, so I'll be doing some upgrades to it. I cut the shaft off on that one, so you can see it's last year's motor. And here's a Volta level 3 too, and this has got the HE rotor in it. So I've been testing it, running it on the analyzer, put different ball bearings on it, and it is very smooth, very nice. Less resistance across the board. It's going to be a lot better motor. So one of the things we're going to do is put that in today, and then we'll figure out where we need to mark our shaft, and we'll cut our shaft off. One of the things we also do is we take our 32 pitch gears and we trim them down. They don't need to be super wide. Rotational mass, rotational mass, rotational mass is what I always preach, guys. You know that. So one of the first things we are going to do is go ahead and get this motor out. So we will start by doing that. I'll get this one out the way. Haven't had my soldering iron out in quite some time. Get my tool here. We'll desolder this motor. And then after we get this motor desoldered, we're going to put on our new motor. And we will start working on the old motor and getting it ready for 2025's race season. Key when soldering, if you guys don't solder a lot, is do not keep the tool sitting there forever, because the more you heat everything up, the more it does the inside of the car, or the inside of the motor, speed control, ESC, whatever you want to call it, whatever you're working on. So this is running 32 pitch gears. This is a 64 tooth spur gear, and it is a 18 tooth pinion. So we're going to take this off of here. And we're gonna make sure we leave a little piece of tape here so we know what we have in there. And at some point we're going to take this whole transmission apart and rebuild that. We gotta look at wheel bearings, take them all out, put them in the ultrasonic cleaner, which is our badass bearings, and then we will re-oil them. We'll blow them out probably and re-oil them and get them all cleaned up, or re-oiled, excuse me. The way the light is set up in this room is really hard to see in here because it's all set up for you guys to see, not me to see. So I gotta put this motor where I can see it. Because I'm an old man. Alright, so there we got our motor set up in there. There we go. And you guys can see a little bit what I'm doing. Pinion's going to go on backwards. Nice tight, and then I like to rotate the motor all the way back on this little motor mount so it touches all the way, and then I rotate it forwards. It's not tightened all the way yet, but I like to hold this gear, feel a little clicking between the two, and tighten her down just a little bit. Okay, you can see how much motor shaft we have there. We can cut off. Not going to be a lot that we can get rid of, but it's enough. We're going to look for any bent shafts, anything else. Check our diff fluid, which seems to be pretty good. Check the alignment and everything, make sure everything's all good. Based off of this here, I can see that I need to adjust in just a little bit on the tires here, because you can see a little bit of wear on the outside. And I think that's pretty much it. The biggest changes we're going to make to this specific car for the year. So, and I also need to make one personal change myself, which is I need to get better glasses this year, because my eyesight has changed a lot over the last year. I am a type 2 diabetic, and diabetes does not play fair with your eyes. Alright, so do some soldering back up here, guys, ladies, whoever's watching. Assume it's dudes most of the time. last one. Now, you can either heat these to make them look pretty, or heat them up to make them look or be useful. That's pretty much it. You want to make sure your wires are all the same length, and you want to make sure that your wires are as short as possible everywhere you're running them. So a lot of the guys this year, I think, are going to be running. Turn this off here. I think you're going to see a lot of race boxes this year. Running on the cars instead of the old ones, the Sky RC, whatever they were. But anyways, car's out on the bench. Voodoos. I don't remember what the front tires are called anymore, to be honest with you guys. I've slept since then. Accelerate, that's right, sorry. Shortest tire you can find on the market. So that's kind of what we're going to be running this year. And good old Bob Hamilton painted this thing up for us. So I dropped it off with him at Super Chips last year, and I almost don't want to run it. Pretty dang cool. I mean, the guy did an amazing job. I mean, amazing. So it's gonna like I said, I really don't want to run it because it's, I mean, it's like a work of art. The guy, I don't know how he does it, but I appreciate it. Bob, appreciate it very, very much. But and it's probably the coolest body I've ever had. So I should show you guys the deck there, how he did that. But we're gonna get it set up for the car. We're gonna get our magnetic body post set on the car and get it set up and everything else the way we want it. But yeah, so ...2025 is going to be a fun season. There's lots of new parts coming out, lots of new stuff. Tom Rockwall's putting out X-School ESCs, X-School motors. I think those are going to change the game. Well, I already know they have for this year. Looking at the last race where people running the 1-2s. So, and talking to Marcus, they run a lot cooler. So, I mean, that's a game changer right there. We all know that R1s get hot during the summer. And whatever Tom is doing to them, good job. Keep it up. And I hope to get a couple ESCs heading your way. Hopefully they'll never blow up. Who knows? But we all know at Super Chips, other big races, when it gets hot, we start to see them go pretty frequently. Marcus's, I think he burnt up, I want to say 5 of them last year at Super Chips, so that's not cheap. But appreciate it, Bob, and I'll be hopefully getting you another one to paint at Super Chips this year. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I just see this body here on this car does well everywhere it goes. I don't know if it's the width of the body. It's like a shovel. what it is. It's just it wins races. So I don't think it necessarily works at our local track here, but the big races where you got all that traction, you need that downforce. It definitely is going to be a game changer. But anyways, I guess that's it for today, guys and gals. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day, and keep it between the lines.